Let's try that now that you can actually hear us.
Yes.
Yes. Good evening. This is Steve Blackson from husbandofahomeschoolingmom.com with Mr. David Allen.
Conversaving.com.
That's right. And we're here this evening at the 2015 Teach Them Diligently in Atlanta, Georgia. We are currently located at the Cobb Galleria in Cobb County. Hey, that's probably where it got its name. And we have made it through our first day here. Everything kicked off at about 1 o'clock, getting your registration and everything. And classes started around 2, and it has been a very good day so far. We're going to be, hopefully, we have put in a request for Mr. David Nunnery to be here. Him and his wife are the ones that lead up Teach Them Diligently. And we put in a request for them to actually be here tonight. So hopefully David will show up soon, and we can interview him and find out, David, what is it really like at your house? That's the goal. How is it for Mr. Teach Them Diligently at home? So that is a goal, and we will see how that goes. What have you thought about everything so far, David?
It's great. Like we got here about 2 o'clock, a couple hours after y'all did.
Yep.
But me and you took in a session about dads doing devotionals for their families, which was quite good.
Outstanding job. Tommy Hendricks.
Yes.
Tommy Hendricks with, what was it, Megaverse.
Megaverse.
Megaverse.com. Tommy Hendricks. If you haven't heard of them, go check them out. Megaverses.com. Tommy Hendricks. Well worth it.
And our wives went to a couple of sessions, which they said were good. Our kids went to what they call an improv, which is kind of a comedy skit thing that a group performs to kind of entertain the kids on the first day, which they said was very good and very funny. So just because it's not a full day today, a lot's been going on, and tomorrow and Saturday is all day. So
Absolutely. And speaking for the kids, now, if you have not made it to this one, that's all right. You still have 2 other opportunities, Texas and Ohio. And in that, they also had the kids program, okay? They had the children's program, which is God's Incredible World. And that is a $45 event for the smaller kids, which includes Patch the Pirate. Now, I had something really cool today. We're here. We're going up the escalator over there. I turn around. There's Patch the Pirate. So I can now say that I have seen Patch the Pirate.
there you go.
Patch was not wearing his pirate costume, but he was still Patch the Pirate. You can tell. And then along with that, they also have the older kids. They have their own program that is going to be here, and they are going to be doing a drama program. They're acting out stuff, and I'm really interested to see how that's going to be Saturday. They have a program, I think it's at 5 Saturday.
I believe so.
5:30.
Yes.
And the kids are going to be putting on a live drama, which they needed costumes for, a whole bunch of stuff. But I do believe it's going to be well worth it. My son was all excited, and he is a soldier. So I believe Drew is a soldier
Yes,
as well.
our 2 oldest sons are in that program because they're 12, and they're both soldiers in that. There's another friend of theirs is also in it as a soldier as well.
Yeah, Hunter.
Then our younger kids are all in the Patch the Pirate.
That's correct.
So,
And so that has actually turned out well. And for those of you that tuned in last time and wondered, who won that free family registration? I didn't come back and tell anybody that one. But it went to the one person who submitted a question in that was not our wives. And that person happened to turn out to be Jenny Clem. So Jenny and her 2 kids are here today, and they've been going around and enjoying it. And so congratulations, Jenny Clem. Let me say that clearly. Congratulations, Jenny Clem, for your tickets to come here. We hope you are thoroughly enjoying it.
yes.
So this 2015 conference, I have been to the 12, 13, 14, which that was 2 of them in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Last year we were in Washington, D.C. This year we're in Atlanta. Thank goodness, only about an hour and 10 minutes away from the house.
As opposed to 13 hours.
Yes, that was a homeschooling adventure, shall we say.
Yes.
Yes. But what are you wanting to get out of this year's conference? What are you hoping to see so far?
Well, I think us dads especially, moms too, but us dads especially need to be I, for one, need to have my heart plowed up some in certain
Yes.
areas, and we get so in the day-to-day working and the school and everything, you get your game face on or your blinders on, and
Yep.
you really need to get a fresh perspective sometimes. And these homeschool conferences, for me, I think I speak for you as well, have always given me a refreshing in my perspective about why we're doing all this day to day.
Very true.
It really touches your heart, certain speakers, and then other classes are great just for information, how to do things better, whatever. But there's certain classes, Mark Hamby and some others, where you just really give back to realizing why you're doing all this.
Yeah. I like the way you put that while ago. It plows up your heart. A lot of times the guys, we become stone and we become hard-hearted sometimes. And in doing that, we kind of tune out the homeschooling stuff. We do our regular job. We come home, we try to take care of family. We try to take care of the house.
Right.
And the way it all ends up is that we push the homeschooling aspects of everything to the side. And this is a time where the women tomorrow night have a thing called Real Refreshing or Real Refreshment,
Yes.
where they will all get together and have a little bit of time where they can chit chat and find out some refreshing things for them. But for myself, this is a time of refreshing, renewing, letting me know what I need to do better for my family. And that was a good way, because it plows into the heart and cuts those new rows to actually get seeds, to get water put back into my heart for the homeschooling adventure, because
Right.
it is an adventure. So, that was a very good analogy there,
Well,
Dave.
thank you.
I'll give you that one.
You know how the farmland gets that thin crust on top.
Yeah.
It's hard. You can't do anything with it.
No, but up
So
under
that's
it,
what we do as
there's
well.
something there that can be
Exactly.
worked with.
Yes.
And a lot of us guys, we're that way. We're a little crusty, and you gotta get through that tough, crusty exterior, and you'll find all kind of good stuff in there.
Yes.
So for myself, pretty much the same thing you're talking about, getting a little refreshing, a little renewal. We met today with the Georgia Home Educators Association,
Mhm.
and in Georgia, we're finding out some of the things they're doing about the homeschooling laws and what they're actually doing. So if you live in the state of Georgia and you've always wondered what is a good backing for homeschoolers, check into the Georgia Home Educators Association, GHEA,
Yes.
and check into them and find out what all they have going. And you'll really find some good information on there. We were talking to them today about ways they can get the thoughts of homeschooling out there and some of the misconceptions of homeschooling. There's a lot of people who have the Georgia Cyber Academy, or different schools have their own cyber academy where you get the information sent to your house through the state of Georgia. And that's actually more of a public school that you're doing at home. It's not the true old-fashioned homeschooling. Homeschooling is
You're
where,
not picking the curriculum. with
yes, the state is still mandating what is the curriculum. The state is still telling you what you will teach and how you'll do it, and the requirements that you must complete. In homeschooling, you come to an event such as this, you go through and you find out the different curriculum. You pick out what's best for your family, and you come back and you teach them. And here come here, son. This,
Here comes the family down the
yes,
escalator.
they're all coming in. This is my son, Levi. This is the eating machine at the house right now. This is my oldest. He'll be turning 13 this year. And so far, how's it going here?
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Okay, let me see this. Let me see this. Okay, for all you dads out there that think that there's nothing really cool here, check this out. It's a 45 Magnum automatic, not reloading, but automatic rubber band pistol.
And you will not get expelled from homeschool for showing this
That's
at your
right.
school.
Look, I can show this in my school and not get expelled. That is the difference here. So there you go, bud. Come here. This is my youngest son, Ethan. You see this shirt? One day he is going to be running for president of the United States, because this little man is almost a lawyer as it is. You tell him something one time, that's it. He is the rule keeper. So are you enjoying it so far?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. All right. You haven't spent any money yet. Okay, your brother's broke. He's only got like $1.02.
He's got $2.
You have $2?
Yes.
Okay, we're down to $2.02.
There you go.
Hey, it's only the first night.
And $37.
And this, yes, This is my, yeah, okay, don't do that one. This is my baby girl,
This is
Ella.
a national TV audience.
That's right. There are going to be, we have one now, but there are going to be millions of viewers watching this. So you can't do all that, okay? This is my daughter, Ella Bell, or we call her Ella. So are you having fun here so far? Are you looking forward to tomorrow when you go to your class with Patch the Pirate? And what about you, Ethan? Are you ready for the drama, soldier man? All right. So cool. They're my kids now. David, yours are at your aunt's house.
Yes, my aunt has a house in Marietta close by, so they're over there right now.
Cool. All right. Y'all can head back over. We'll catch y'all later.
Thank you.
Go get, don't do it. Just go. Now, we could at this point bring
we also
our
have
wives.
the wives here. The wives. Yes.
And my wife is now running away. And she is waving in the background. Hey, bye-bye. So, she's coming back this way. Oh, yes, ladies and
Jennifer,
gentlemen.
now is your chance to be famous.
Jennifer, this is it. Nicole.
Your life will never be the same at this point.
These
here
are
we
the
go.
women.
All right.
These are the homeschooling moms that we stand behind each and every day.
Yes.
This is Nicole and David. I'll let you introduce your own wife.
This is Jennifer.
There we go. So these are the women that we support and we stand behind, and we do what we do so that way they can teach our kids at home.
Yes.
So, ladies, thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Oh man. Oh,
How has been your
live.
first day?
We
at
have
the
a kiss
Homeschool
live.
Conference?
Yeah. How your day been so far? Have you good classes? Okay. Yep. They're not going. Okay. Now the kids are just running behind us for the fun. Okay. We will probably get in trouble for that later, but hey, it's worth it for one time.
That's right.
But back to what we was talking about. I know for myself, I've been looking forward to this. It's a yearly time for dads, homeschool dads, to come together and see. And so far today, we've seen one or two dads that had that look of just somewhat terror and lost.
Yeah, we kind of stand
Mixed
up
on their
against
face.
the wall and pick out the newbies.
Yeah.
As the veterans, we can pick out the newbies. We know the look because we once had that look on our face ourselves.
Exactly. We've had that look. And you'll see the people and they're walking around going, or the other one is you see them going around with an iPad or something. They're going, And then, of course, you always see the husband and wife, and they're standing there. Both of them have a schedule, and the husband's going, I don't want to go to this. I don't want to go to this. And to which we've actually brought one of those with us this year. We brought some people with us, and he's staying way up there in the top floor.
Yes.
And he is here for the first time coming to a homeschool conference. And so far, he has been to two.
You're taking him as your Padawan learner.
Yes, I have a Padawan.
Yes.
Yes, I'm actually a Jedi Master. No, he is here, and so far he has been in tears almost twice, just listening to what's going on. Because, see, not only is this on homeschooling, the cool thing is with Teach Them Diligently, it's also a Christian-based homeschooling conference. You don't come and just hear strictly homeschooling. You also hear the Word of God being delivered to you by the presenters, whether or not they be vendors or individual speakers. They're also giving you the Word of God.
Absolutely.
Which is something that a lot of places you don't get. So it's kind of a Christian homeschooling event. And that's what they also listed as on their page at teachthemdiligently.com. You go there and they tell you, hey, here's our statement of faith. They're up front with you and let you know what's going on.
Well, their name is derived from the verse.
There you go. Deuteronomy 6, verses 6 through 9. Teach them diligently. Okay? So that's where everything's coming from. But for myself, I've really been looking forward to this, wanting to find out more. The kids are getting older. And so now it's getting into stuff where it's going to get fun with physics, astronomy. We're getting into the fun stuff. Me having an engineering background, this is where I'm really going to start to enjoying stuff. My kids want to build a pumpkin launcher for this fall. And they're wanting to plant pumpkins in the garden, which will be starting next weekend. And so by October, November, we have to have a catapult. And they're wanting to do the full style. If you saw the last part of the Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Where you had the trebuchets up there with the big weights. And it comes dropping down and it has the cloth that it grabs it, slings it around and shoots it out.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
We're going for a full, well, maybe not full size, maybe a quarter size. of one of those.
Yeah, you might want to reduce it just a little bit.
Otherwise, I'd be launching pumpkins over at the Rock Ranch and
Yes.
attacking them while they're doing their stuff.
Yes,
I could start a war at the Rock.
that's right.
If you ever hear of a pumpkin war, started at the Rock, Georgia. It started right here first. So hopefully that won't go on because they have a pumpkin cannon at their place, and that joker will hum them out there.
Very far.
Yes.
Very far.
But I have been looking forward to this strictly to find other homeschooling dads to find out more about the curriculum. Because dads, whether you believe this or not, and this was mentioned today in one of our classes that we went to talking about the discipleship and everything, a lot of dads, David grew up with this, I grew up with this. We didn't have, not knocking our dads, but we didn't have strong Christian dads that would sit down and nightly read the Bible with us, that would nightly sit down and disciple us in Christian values. Now, my dad had Christian values, still does. However, it wasn't something that was talked about at home. It was more demonstrated.
Right.
And we didn't sit down and have family Bible time. No. And that's something that we're trying to change in both of our families, where our kids, they grew up going, you know what? My dad was a good guy, and I also remember him reading the Bible with us. And that was one of the big things we heard today in the class of what was in there, 60 people?
Yeah, about that.
60 people. He asked a show of hands of how many of you had dads that would do what we're talking about as far as reading the Bible, have a devotion time with you. 3 out of 60 raised their hand. Okay. And so what we're looking at is we're trying to make a change in not only our family, but future generations to come.
Right.
And so that's another part of Teach Them Diligently, is the fact that it is a Christian homeschooling event, a Christian homeschooling movement, as far as I would be concerned. And we're trying to look forward to that.
I don't have that figured out at all. And,
no.
I'm not blaming it on my raising, but when you develop a pattern in anything, whether you're not pattern of not doing something or a pattern of doing something, it takes a hold of your life, and it's hard to break.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
they say for you to really get into something, you have to do it, 21 times to make it a perpetual thing. So that way you continue on. And I'm the world's worst at this, okay? I'll go ahead and admit this. I will start a family devotion. We'll rock it on there for about 2 weeks, and then something comes up. Chaos hits the house for a night. The next night we try to jump back in there, but oh my goodness, you know what? There's another chaos that comes in.
Right.
And so we wind up getting out of what we were doing. And then next thing you know, you turn around, and about a week later, you notice that chaos continues to build.
Yeah.
And of course, that's when my wife will come to me, or kids will come up to me and go, Daddy, when are we going to do family devotion again? Dads, if you do nothing else in your homeschool, take the time to have a family devotion with your family. Whether it be like he was talking today of 1 day a week, you carve out 1 day and you hold to it with everything you have. You hold to that and you have that family devotion, or you do it nightly. You can do 5 minutes a night, but something to sit down with your family and with your kids.
Right. The key is, like you said, holding on to it, because once you establish it, the entire world is going to come against you and try to make sure you don't have it. Whether it's something serious or something not serious, it's going to, just watch and see. It'll happen.
Yes, absolutely. When you take that stand of faith and say, we are going to do this, I guarantee you something's coming after you.
Yeah.
And I would do the analogy, from Saturday Night Live. Could it be Satan?
Yeah.
So there you go. But that's one thing I've been looking forward to. It's just getting that renewing, that refreshing from other Christian dads that are going through and have gone through a lot of the same things that we are going through now, just to give you that reassurance of it's going to be all right.
Right. Well, I mean, the women do that. Like you said, they're having a time of refreshing tomorrow night.
Correct.
Women, on average, have a much better sense of community than men do. Men are kind of like rogues going out there on their own all the time, and it doesn't have to be that way. And you can't do that on your own strength all the time. You've got to have other men around you and have that sense of community too. You may think you can do it on your own, but you can't after a while.
Right. And of course, men are men. All right. We're going to be honest about it. We do not want to ask anybody for help.
No.
98% of the guys out there, or maybe 100, will go, I'm a man, I'll figure it out my way. Because I know the one of the greatest things that I hate to admit is a GPS. I like to look at a map, see where I'm located, see where I want to go, and look on the map and say, I can do that, and go for it. Of course, my wife, on the other hand, she wants the address. She punches it in and says, go, follow this. And because a guy does not want to admit that he needs help.
Right.
And so many guys don't actually stop to take the time and say, David, are you experiencing this trouble at your house? Are you experiencing problems with your kids in this area? We don't want to give in to that. We don't want to appear weak. We don't want to appear that we're not super strong and we can do it.
Right.
However, in the Bible, it says that he is made strong in our weakness. Sometimes, guys, you got to admit that you're not Superman in your house, and you got to seek other people's help. First of all, start off with God, then go to man.
Right.
But it's okay, guys. If you're a homeschooling dad out there hearing us, it's okay to admit that you don't have full control of your homeschooling. And where that starts is getting down and talking to God about it and establishing the authority levels in the house of you are the dad of the house. You're the homeschooling principal. Now let's set it in order and work its way down. Because that's a lot of problem that we have in homeschooling is there's really no boundaries or establishment of authorities.
Right.
And you touched on that some last time about the principal. You got to have a principal.
Well, yeah. I mean, if we are not doing the public school route because we think we can do it better than them, well, even the public school has a principal. So if you're going to do it better than the public school, and you at least have to have the same components that the public school has. You're the principal. You're the head of the household and principal. The principal knows what curriculums are in his school. He knows what the teachers are doing and thinking and struggling with, and it's the same thing in the home.
And a lot of times the principal also has to deal with discipline issues.
Yes, not fun, but it's got to be done.
There you go. And I know that's not one of the top things you want to deal with when you've been at work all day and you come home, and as soon as you walk in the door, the wife goes, you need to do something with this child right here.
Right.
Nobody wants to hear that to be the first words or any text or phone calls you get throughout the day.
Right.
Do you ever get text and phone calls from your wife?
Yes.
Throughout the day?
I've gotten phone calls from my wife saying, here, I need you to talk to son number 2 or son number 1.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I've experienced that where you're at the job, and of course it's going to occur at one of the most inopportune moments for us.
Right.
We're going to be in a meeting somewhere, and you get that first phone call, and you just kind of like go, nope, can't do it right now. To which it immediately rings again. You go, nope, can't do that right now. To which a text now comes in going, call me, and then you begin to wonder, okay, are they stranded on the side of the road? And you quietly, the best you can, step out of the meeting, make the phone call, and it's, here's the phone, talk to him now.
Yes. My wife is a very patient person, so I know when that happens, that talk to this child now, that it's like code red.
Yes.
Something needs to be addressed.
And, okay, question. Since we brought this up, and I mean, we're not holding any bars here, okay, guys? We're letting it all out. What is your first reaction? I'll give this to David first.
First reaction to
when you get that phone call.
Well, I mean, just to be honest, you sigh or something.
Yes, there you go.
Okay,
it's the what? Yeah. It's one of those points. But dads, let me ask you a question. What's more important? Now think about this before you answer. What's more important, your kids or your job? That can be a tough question.
Yes.
Because, of course, everybody's going to say, well, my kids. But then the other side is that, but if I don't have a job, I can't have my kids at home.
Yes.
So it's one of those two-edged swords. But here's the deal, guys. Your job lasts for a short time. Your kids are there for you from now on.
Right.
You have to set that example of being there for your kids. Which, again, this goes all the way back to what we were talking about earlier, devotion. You got to pour into your kids. You've got to pour into your kids. And there's going to be times that you do not want to pour into your kids. You're going to be tired. You're going to be irritated. You're going to be aggravated. And that's the time. I don't know if you've experienced this yet. At like 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night, Levi has said, Daddy, can I talk to you? And you're in a quasi coma about to go to sleep. And you're like, dude, really? I have found out, and I've heard this would happen at the most inopportune times of the night. Your kids will want to discuss some of the most deepest issues of their life.
Oh yeah.
And dads, when your kids come to you with that, you got to stop and you got to give it to them. So make sure that whatever's going on, you stop and give that time to them.
And that's true for boys especially, because boys aren't known for communicating a great deal. And
Yes.
if that happens at 10:30 at night or whatever, then you probably need to really pay attention, because that's not a daily event, at least not in my house.
No, and it's not in mine. Girls will open up more, but guys, when you have your son come to you and say, Dad, I need to talk, it doesn't matter if it's at 9 o'clock at night, 10:30, or midnight, and they come in there and wake you up. Stop and give time to your kids to let them know. And again, when you're pouring into them, whether it be through the devotions at night, whether it be when you take your kids out and have that one-on-one time with them, whatever, you got to pour that time into them. And when you pour into them, expect for some of it to pour back into you, because it will happen if you give that time to them.
Right.
So you got to remember, when they ask for the time, give them the time. Don't brush it off. And trust me, those are hard words to say, because I am known for doing a lot of brushing. And I'm not just throwing it out there for you guys. I'm saying it for myself. These are things I have to keep in mind for me.
Right.
But with that, we have just seen the man, the one and only, Mr. David Nunnery, come down the steps here, and he is sitting over here to our side. Now David is coming into this cold turkey. He has no idea what questions we're going to ask tonight, and they're going to be good ones. And Miss Leslie has already said that she is dying for him to come here so she can watch this and find out what he really thinks of the homeschooling in his house. So with this, Mr. David Nunnery, would you please come on around here? We'll get you a chair. There you go. Just bring that one over.
Bring your own chair.
Yeah, bring your own chair. BYOC.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. So this is Mr. David Nunnery. He is the co-founder of Teach Them Diligently. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
And also Worldwide Tent Makers.
Yes, but I'm not the co-founder, but I am the current president.
Current president. All right, cool. So, all right. First of all, I want to tell you thank you, you and your wife, for putting on this conference. We've been to the two Spartanburgs, the Washington, D.C., and we're here now. And I really like this one because it's only an hour and 15 minutes from my house. So thank you on that.
Yes.
But mainly, I just want to tell you thank you from a dad's perspective. This is something that we've talked about, that dads don't have a chance to come together, but this gives dads an opportunity to come to one location to hear encouragement and uplifting words from other dads that have been in the homeschool trenches, that are going through curriculum, and it gives us a chance to sit back and go, wow, okay, this is real, and this can be done.
Sure.
And question for you.
Yes.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. All right. Question number one. Homeschooling in your house.
Sure.
How is that handled? Is that done by you or your wife?
It's done by my wife.
Done by your wife.
Yeah.
And
By and large.
okay, cool. But do you participate in the homeschooling there?
I taught Bible this past semester.
Okay.
I have the official title as principal in our homeschool.
We just talked about that.
Yeah. And so I meet with the kids, with Leslie. We go over what their grades are. We go over what their goals are. We go over what their, just how they're feeling about the classes. And a lot of times we have discussions about what we feel like we want the Lord, what we want them to learn
Right.
from the Lord for that particular semester or that particular year.
Okay.
We tell them where we feel like the Lord's been leading us and picking the certain classes that they're doing, because obviously they get first crack at it in picking some of the classes, but we always have veto ability.
Very good.
And we use that
I like
on
that.
a regular basis. Because sometimes, well, they're like me, they try to bite off more than they can chew, and we try to draw them back a little bit. So I have that tendency as well, bite off more than I can chew.
Yeah, I think that comes with just being a guy.
Well, yeah, I agree.
That guys are saying, "Oh yes, I can conquer that mountain," and 2/3 up are like, "What was I thinking?" But yeah, so that's cool. So you are involved in the curriculum aspect of it.
Yes, I would say that Leslie is definitely the driving force behind a lot of the decisions that we make. But I feel like that the kids have to know that I'm engaged in everything that's going on.
Yes.
And if they don't feel like I'm engaged, they will run over her.
Very well put.
And also the other thing is that I feel like as being a leader in a household, a big part of what my duty is to set the vision for the way everything is supposed to run. So just to kind of come up with the overall umbrella on, hey, why are we doing this?
Right.
What's the point in what we're doing?
That's good.
And then just checking in on a regular basis to make sure that the kids understand that still, because it's one thing to state that at the beginning. It's 2-3 months down the road has everything come off the tracks?
Yeah.
Yours is even a bit more challenging and unique than ours because you're going to traveling and planning 4 homeschool venues a year. So how does that?
Well, Leslie is intimately involved in what we're doing. She's kind of the voice on the social networks, on the Facebook pages. She also does a lot of the blogging.
Right.
So she's intimately involved in everything that we're doing. So she's mixing that in with the homeschooling and what's
If
started
you're
to
not
happen.
organized with that, with all y'all do with the conferences plus that, then you're dead in the water. If you're not
Well,
organized.
it's kind of like an organized chaos.
Yeah.
It's you just want to make sure that, again, the trains don't completely come off the tracks, but sometimes you feel like you're screaming and yelling down a hill and you're just hanging on by your fingernails, but you're hanging on.
Right.
And I think a lot of that is, what's your foundation? Are you doing this just because your child's being bullied, even though pulling your kid out of school because they're being bullied is a really legitimate reason and a good reason, but is that the foundation reason why you're doing this? Or are you doing it because it's discipleship?
Right.
You got to have something with it's very firm. You build your house on the rock.
Right.
I like it.
Definitely.
Okay. What? And I'll let you. You can have a free pass on this one. What has been your most memorable homeschooling experience?
Boy, that's actually very difficult because I would say that we run the conventions, and the last convention that we did in Nashville, and we've just begun here in Atlanta,
right.
So it's not really fair to leave out Atlanta, but we've just started. But the last event that we had in Nashville, we had a moment where James Dobson canceled. And we had Karen Williams, and she was leading this group of 3,000 homeschoolers singing hymns.
Oh, wow.
And she told me just now that she had a frog in her throat or something where she couldn't swallow, so she couldn't actually get the words out. So she took a second to swallow and to take a break. And when she stopped singing, you could hear everybody in the crowd singing. And it was one of those moments where, it was just, everybody's praising the Lord together, and everybody's from diverse backgrounds that come to this event.
Right.
We don't have, it's not just one group.
Right.
And so you got a group of people from diverse backgrounds, and they're all singing and praising the Lord together. And you could hear that a cappella. And it was really a cool moment.
That's
so I would say that was the most memorable one that I could think of right off the top of my head. But when we were first talking about homeschooling with our kids, the thing that kept coming up was field trips. They were so excited about all the field trips they were going to get to take.
Of course,
And we were
field trip, of course, can be to Ingles or to the grocery store. Hey, it's a field trip.
That's right.
It's a math class.
But they actually thought about, man, we're going to be able to take all these field trips. So we're being taken out of this private school that we had them in, and they like taking field trips to the Publix or whatever. But they were going to be able to do that a lot more. And so
Right.
one time we took them to Mammoth Cave up in Kentucky, and it was when we first took them out, and they didn't have this calm demeanor, where they're meek and not talking very much with the tour guide.
Right.
They were constantly asking questions of the tour guide, and it was like, wow, they're kind of teaching themselves, and and they're engaging and being interactive in what's going on. And at that moment, I kind of realized that the power of homeschooling, yeah, and that independent learning element of homeschooling.
Independent learning, not forcing something down just to pass a test.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were like sponges.
And see, that to me, that's one of the great parts of doing the homeschooling, because when you start to pour into your kids into a curriculum, you can tell immediately, are they soaking it in or is it running off?
Yeah.
And it gives you that opportunity to say, okay, they need this, so how do I need to approach it differently so it does soak in?
Yeah.
And that is one of the great things. And then as they get older, the independence they gain out of homeschooling. That really goes a long way, because in my opinion, that prepares them for a professional later on. When they get out there or they go to college, you have to learn it on your own a lot of times. You have a professor or instructor up there that will go over stuff, but it requires you to sit back down and get into it. And that's where the independence
Absolutely.
comes in.
You're in college, you're going to class once a week. In
Yes.
a public high school, you're going to class every single day.
Right.
I think public schools are a lot more like an assembly line. It's kind of like a factory, where homeschooling is like custom made.
Yes.
And so every single person comes to it with a different background. You come to it from a different point of view in your family, and you get a curriculum from Apologia or any of these other curriculum companies out there, Bob
Right.
Jones, Abeka, and you have the opportunity as a parent to kind of fit it in where it fits for you.
That's really exciting.
Yeah. And I don't want to. I want to be real careful not to present it like we've got it all figured out, because I think that's the tendency is when people are listening, they hear you talk and they're thinking, man, I've been screwing up here for 3 years. What am I doing? And there's nothing farther from the truth. You're kind of figuring it out at the same time.
Absolutely.
And every single day you're going, man, I don't know if I did very well today as a homeschool parent. But you come to the end of the year or the end of the week, and you look back and you go, man, this actually is working out pretty well.
Well, we were listening to some of the people from GHEA today. There was a lady who's been homeschooling since '83, I believe is what she said.
Right.
And she will tell you today that, I still don't have it figured out.
Yeah.
And that was from 1983. So we're talking, what's that, 20, 30, what's that, 32 years?
2 years ago.
32 years and doing it. And she can tell you, I still don't have it all figured out. And I don't think we ever really will.
No, I think that's part of the beauty of it is that homeschooling is it's custom. I mean, every single child's different.
Yep.
God's created them differently. Therefore, there's not a formula
True.
to do this. So you're fitting it in with the way your child works, and it's okay.
Well, that part
And
of
you're
the,
different.
Yeah. Well, part of where you got the teach them diligently is Deuteronomy chapter 6.
Yeah.
And it clearly says that when you walk along the side of the road, when they get up, when they lie down, you should be teaching them this. When they go by the doorpost, they see it in the gatepost. The part of that is that in homeschooling, you are actually, what your kids are doing.
Yeah.
You're fully involved in what they're getting, the education they're in. So you're able to actually discuss with them. And that gives a totally different aspect that in public schools, a lot of times parents have no idea what their kids are being taught.
No, they're outsourcing it.
Yes. You're completely pushing it off on somebody else when it is the parent's responsibility. And in doing the homeschooling, you're able to say, I know exactly where you are in math. I know what you struggle with in math. I know how your reading skills are. I know how you are in geography. And you you have a more in-depth knowledge of your kids. And some people go, well, but you're smothering them. Do you believe that you smothered any of your kids in homeschooling?
No, I don't. No, I
No.
think that, and in most cases, that identification that I have with what my child is going through is coming from the fact that I struggled with the same things when I was younger. And really, what your child is just a reproduction of who you are.
Amen.
And so
That's a scary thought.
It is a scary thought,
is.
but it's also a blessing also. So it's a two-edged sword because they get all of your pluses, but they also get all of your minuses.
Yep.
And so, you're the best person to raise them.
That could not be said any better.
So
Outstanding. Well, we're not going to take all your time up tonight, but I just wanted to thank you.
Yes.
Do you have anything that you would like to say that is totally, we'll give you a free shot at anything you want?
I can't really think of anything. I appreciate you guys and what you're doing and trying to help the parents at home being able to raise their kids and homeschool them. And so,
well, we're just trying to talk to the dads. The moms, oh, great day. There's nothing against the mommy bloggers out there or the homeschooling mom bloggers. Don't go boycotting me or David here, but we're just, there's not any dads out there actually speaking up about homeschooling.
Right.
They're there, but they're kind of like they're hidden. They're out of the way. We don't want to be seen. We don't want to be heard. But there are dads out there that need to be more involved, and that's what we're trying to do here tonight. So with that, Mr. David, thank you very much, sir.
all right, thank you. Thank you.
And
I appreciate it.
very
we'll
much
be
for your
seeing you
time.
around here this weekend, and hopefully won't bother you too much.
No, you won't.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for joining us, and you want to go ahead and we'll wrap on up and close out.
Yeah, just good luck with the rest of the convention, and we're looking forward to tomorrow and Saturday. And like Mr. Nunnery said, it's a very diverse group here. It's not your father's homeschooling. I mean, you think it's all denim jumpers and culottes and things of that nature. It's not. You should come.
But
to one.
you will find those here.
Yes, you will. Yeah, you should come to one because it's, like Mr. Nunnery said, an extremely diverse group with different ideas and different appearances and different thoughts on how things need to be done, and that's a great thing.
Quick question. I saw this on the Facebook today, but I did not see the answer. You may not know. Will the exhibition center be open for people who are not coming to the convention as well?
No, what we want is we want you to come in and enjoy the sessions. We
Okay.
feel like that the exhibit hall is a big part,
Yes.
but we're not just a shopping floor. And
Good deal.
All integrated together.
we want to reach the heart of homeschooling, the heart of your homeschool. And we feel like the way we do that is through the speakers and through the people that we bring that are able to help you. And so we do have individual day passes.
Okay, you do have individual day
Yes,
passes.
we will do individual day passes, and we have a special promo code for that. That's single day 2015.
Okay, and you can get that on teachthemdiligently.com.
What you do is when you register, you put that in the promo code.
Okay.
And I can't remember whether it's $25 or $30 off the registration, but you have to do it online.
Okay, and that promo code again is
Single day 2015.
Single Day 2015. Now, if that's not a deal, I don't know what is. So 1 day pass to come in, to hear speakers, to go through the exhibition hall, that's great. That's great. So if you're in Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, you already had a shot at it. No, but seriously, if you want to come down to Atlanta and go through it, this is an outstanding 1 day quick trip. You still got Friday, you still have Saturday. Guys, I would suggest you grab your wife. You want to totally blow her mind, grab her, the kids, or leave the kids with somebody else, maybe the grandparents, and say, honey, let me take you to a homeschool convention for a day. You will blow your wife's mind. So give it a shot, see how it goes. We hope to see you here at Teach Them Diligently in Atlanta, Georgia. The next 2 days, this is April the 9th. You still got the 10th and the 11th, and everything shuts down at 6 o'clock on Saturday.
Yes.
6 o'clock Saturday night, it's over. So you got 48 hours minus 3, 45 hours to get on down here. And thank you very much, sir. And
Thank you.
again,
All right, thank you.
we hope to see you around this weekend.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks
Appreciate
for
it.
your time.
All right, guys, with that, we'll wrap it up for tonight. And we'd like to thank you. We went 45 minutes, didn't go too long tonight. But we hope to be back in May.
Yes, several weeks from now, we hope to have another podcast, and maybe one after that, and one after that. I think this has been a great series, and I'd like to see it continue.
Absolutely. I did not check to see if there were any questions, and lo and behold, no, there's not. So with that, we'll go ahead and close on out. My name's Steve Blackson. I'm the husband of a homeschooling mom.
David Allen from Conversaving.
And this is David Nunnery from teachthemdiligently.com. And we will see you next time, guys. Have a great night.
Good night.